everybody, and welcome back to the Public Announcement Podcast. And today is a very interesting topic, which I hinted in the last video, actually. And we're gonna talk a bit about, or more generally, about memes. Now, it might seem a bit funny to you, or it might seem a bit cringy, like somebody is talking about memes, you know, those little funny pictures that go around the internet with, like, cats and dogs and whatever. But I have realized, or I have observed in the past year or two, that memes are more and more becoming the reflections of our society. If you remember the last episode, we talked about the consumer meme, which essentially is what I'm talking about. Memes are no longer these little funny images. Memes portray ideas. This is what I want to discuss in this episode mainly. That memes are, in my opinion, becoming the new propaganda and the new spreading of ideas. Now, let's talk about the main domain, the internet. Now, the internet is the birthplace and currently even the housing space of memes, but we have seen how memes can make an impact. For example, if we all remember Stefan from the Lazy Town, how the meme basically changed his life. We have managed to raise funds for his operation. Even though he unfortunately passed away, it wasn't our fault at the end of the day, and the meme helped him. And he even later on acknowledged the meme, and he released those individual tracks, which was nice of him, of course. But this is just one of the many examples that memes are no longer images that float around the internet. Memes are something that can be translated into real life, and we can work with it. Now, we are entering a phase where people put ideas behind the memes, and these ideas are spread, and with a pinch of comedy, they can really hit home with the right people. And the internet is a perfect place for this, because with the chat rooms and forums and websites, communicating has never been easier, and sharing images or simply sharing ideas has never been easier too. You've seen groups, you've seen probably, just go on Reddit, I guess. It's just full of memes and these posts which spread ideas. Most of people browse Reddit or 4chan for the memes. So, essentially speaking, memes are becoming the way how people communicate their ideas, and people from around the world can communicate their ideas. Now, many brands have even started using memes to advertise the thing, so even the brands are sort of catching up to this. But what I mostly like is that people always react negatively to it, or most of the time, or they make fun of the brand. It's not like laughing with them, it's laughing at them in a certain sense. Even though the commercial might work, again, it's something that only the current generation kind of knows how to work with. And I mean the current young generation, not the current like boomer generation or whatever. Now, the potential in this is that if memes are becoming more and more the ways how we can spread knowledge and how we can spread ideas, they are becoming essentially effective tools. And as I already mentioned, big corporations and older generations don't know how to use them, don't know how to utilize them. Many people have relied on like billboards and public speeches and public debates and these leaflets and booklets and whatever to spread their ideas. But memes are cheap, they are more effective than anything. What does it take to create a meme? Maybe 15 minutes of Photoshop work, and you can get cracked Photoshop almost anywhere at this point. It's not that very hard, and you don't even need Photoshop. You can just, do it on a very basic editing program. And as I already mentioned with the Stefan example, it is also a way we can raise awareness about issues. I also remember the meme or memes or about the wild forest fires that spread around. Everybody was on that thing, and it started with news sources, but it later translated into memes. People are sort of making fun of it in a way. And that's good, because at least it raises awareness of the issue. And as stupid as it might sound today, I think in the future memes will be more and more important. And we can see the internet being more and more regulated as we continue to the future, and as we slowly develop, and as the corporations are trying to infiltrate internet and buy off space and information. I think memes might become the one thing that nobody can really decode, and they might be just as effective as spreading ideas as booklets or public speeches or anything, even if not more effective. I think therefore the old advertisements or the written blogs don't really work anymore, mainly because the memes have an advantage of being visual. Most of the time it's a funny image with little text. It's not an entire blob of text, or today people have very short attention span, so if you present them with 100-word text and a small image with, I don't know, one sentence, they are mostly going to choose the image. And I think even the older generation would do the same. To give you one example, or one more example, the Coomer meme, or as we talked about the consumer, but I want to bring up the Coomer meme. Now, the Coomer meme has been the best anti-porn commercial I have seen in few years, basically, because it makes fun of the entire people who coom to porn, right? And that is essentially how those people either stop or we raise awareness of the issues. And thousands of people responded to it. There are individual subreddits, there are people making their own versions of the Coomer meme. And it's amazing because it's a small, funny image. But there is no complex explanation needed. There is no underlying text needed. And everybody just gets the meaning and the message. It's amazing. It's what I think propagandists have been trying to do for ages. And now, with the technology and with the speed at which we can spread information, we have that power at our hand. A meme needs no initial investing. A meme is not like an average commercial. There is no initial input, and I don't even think there are some regulations. It's a funny image at the end of the day. You cannot really ban a funny image. You can retract the copyright rights, as everybody worried with the European Union thing, which they wanted to pass laws for more copyright rights. But I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, you've got many memes that are hand-drawn. For example, the Pepe frog, I mean, that's the one that's the most relevant example. Because that's hand-drawn, and if the artist himself, and I think if he wanted, he would have done it a long time ago, and if the artist doesn't retract the rights, there's nothing really you can do with it. Even the Coomer meme, it's hand-drawn. Even the... well, maybe not hand-drawn, but surely digitally. Even the consumer one and even the doomer one, right? All those memes sort of are public property. Anybody can use them, and therefore everybody has access to them. And this is what I want to get to, the final point of this entire podcast, is that learning the art of propaganda and memes can be a very, very effective way to spread your ideas. And if you think about it, again, it might sound stupid, it might sound cringy, but making memes might be one of the only ways today you can get absolutely for free your idea out. I'm not gonna guarantee you that your meme will become popular or people will respond to it positively. I mean, nobody can guarantee you that. But what I can guarantee you that you are not gonna lose anything except short amounts of time. I mean, again, how much time does it really take to make a meme? Not that much, really. You post some text, you post some image, there has to be an idea behind it, and as long as you have a very simple editing program or a photo editor program, I mean, there is no real problem with it or anything. And people today, or the current young generation, is very capable with technology, so this is mainly for the young generation. If you have the chance, and if you have the means, and I'm sure that if you are somehow listening or watching this podcast, you should learn the art of doing this. And there's no complex process. You don't need a masterclass. The thing that we have to understand is that we as the generation, we grew up with these memes. We know how they work. We know how to make one. We know how to react to a situation. And most of us even do it daily. You know, there are some people who just make memes and post them to Reddit. But if we have a deeper idea, if we have a little bit more thought, we can put that into that image. And that image can become a representation of what we want to say. And again, as I'm saying, there has been no better time to do this. The technology we have today, it's amazing. You can download an editing program and just go right in there and just make your very own meme within a matter of minutes. It will take you probably less than an hour. I don't think it will take you an hour, even if you're digitally drawing it. And of course, you don't have to do this every day. You don't have to be a professional propaganda machine just posting 20 memes a day. But try to think about it. Do it at your own pace, and there really is no better way to learn it than to just do it, right? You can go on YouTube and watch videos about how to convey your messages, about how to do this and that. But once you don't actually start doing it and seeing what people react to and don't react to, you're not gonna learn much. And most importantly, you should make sure it's fun for you. There shouldn't be some way you're going to overthrow the government, or this is not supposed to be some way in which you're going to influence masses to do some irrational thing. This is a way how you can get your ideas up front, and it's a very cheap, easy to make, and comfortable way. You don't even have to leave your home to do it. I mean, again, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably have a phone or a notebook, and if you have that, you have everything you need to make one. So again, make sure the process is fun for you, but don't forget that you are basically living in the golden era when you can use this. You don't know what might be tomorrow, you don't know what might be in a year, so utilize it until you have the power. And that's all I'm gonna say in this podcast episode, and thank you so much for listening. And a new topic in English will be coming in 2 weeks, as always. Thank you very much for listening, and have a good